the cost of hidden downtime, Scott?
It's the sole reason why there is a TACH. Hey, I'm Scott Marshall. I'm the founder and CEO of TACH, Trucking Automated Clearinghouse, and we've built a financial tool specific for motor carriers in the United States.
Hey everyone, I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at TACH, back with another podcast. And today I want to talk about a subject near and dear to our hearts, the cost of hidden downtime, Scott.
It's the sole reason why there is a TACH.
Okay, let's hear a little bit more about that.
Well, obviously, if you can't operate, whether it be for financial reasons or the truck is in the shop, which is usually what draws it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It starts with that.
Yeah.
Truck is in the shop. It's going to be in the shop for a week, 2 weeks, a month.
Yeah. You have firsthand knowledge of that.
I
right?
do. I do. Used to have a truck maintenance and repair company here in Georgia, and I saw it every day, and it was tough. I mean, it was tough for the small carriers. I mean, not only do they have the expense and, hey, it blew a turbo and we're telling them you're looking at $7,500 to replace it.
Yeah.
Add in that, which is going to happen if they're mechanical. It's a truck. It's going to break down. It's not a matter of if, it's just when and how often.
Mm-hmm.
And, if they were struggling with the finances or they didn't have that to pay that bill, well, now they're going to be down while they're trying to find money, which is obviously where we can come in and help. And then the second piece is, do they have access if they were going to continue to operate? If they did have the money, did they have access to a rental truck so they can continue driving down the road?
Let's talk about sort of that part of the two parts you just said. Talk a little bit more about, kind of access to funds if they're a little short between, their invoices.
Yeah. So, I mean, with TACH, since we are kind of like the CFO for carriers in their pocket, so to speak, with our platform, it allows us to automatically allocate funds for their everyday expenses, from fuel to repairs, getting PMs done, set aside funds for their trailer payment, their truck payment if they have them, so that the funds will be there, when the due date comes up. We can even set aside funds to pay drivers. If they're paying their drivers weekly, we can set aside funds so that they'll be there to pay the drivers at the end of the week. You name it, anything that's relating to operating their business, we're going to automatically set aside the funds, be able to pay those expenses, and then, of course, forward off their profit, their gross profit, off to their existing bank account. And so since we're managing those funds and we see it in real time, puts us in a position to where if there wasn't quite enough funds set aside, then we can do a cash advance and we can cover that difference. So if there was $5,000 sitting in that account for major repairs and they had that $8,000 turbo bill, we can advance them the $3,000 difference so that they can tell the repair shop, hey, proceed on with those repairs. And they'll know that the funds will be in their account that next day, and they'll be able to pay for them, and they don't have to worry about it. And of course, in the meantime, getting back to downtime, right? It's
absolutely.
Like, let's go recover some lost revenue, right? So if they got that diagnosis from the repair shop saying, yeah, you blew a turbo, you're going to be out of commission for a week. Well, now if they're a TACH member, no problem, right? A, they'll have the funds to fix it, and B, they'll be able to contact the nearest, either Ryder or Penske rental yard and pick up a truck, pick up a trailer, go. Operate.
And for us, it's like our target kind of audience is that sort of 1 to 20 trucks. 95% of the fleets on the road we know are smaller than 20 trucks. Talk about why like Ryder and Penske, kind of that $0 depositor that pick up the truck and go. Why is that so important to these small fleet guys?
Well, it's important because right now, the big rental companies, whether it be Ryder, Penske, Ideal, I mean, I can go on and on. They typically will not rent trucks to small carriers. So you have to submit credit applications. and they're looking at reserves, their cash flow, they're looking at the owner's personal credit. And most of the time they are not approving these smaller carriers. So they literally do not even have the ability to rent trucks. And that's where TACH comes in. So that's where we come in. And so we've made arrangements, and we act as kind of like the personal guarantor, right, to our members. So when they sign up, gives them the ability now to go to Ryder and Penske and rent a truck. So it's kind of a sign and drive deal. And
I mean, it is a sign and drive.
It is a sign and drive.
It's not kind of. It is.
It's a literal sign and drive. That's right. So allows them to keep going and keep operating. So and I know from research and from a lot of our partners that we work, factoring companies, that sort of thing. I mean, these guys are typically generating about, a couple $100,000, it's called $200,000 a year in total invoice receipts. And assuming they're making around $1,000 a day, that means they're rolling about 200 days out of the year. Well, what about the other 40 or 50 days that they could be, and that's even assuming they're giving their driver, 4 or 5 weeks of PTO, vacation, just various downtime. There's a huge lost opportunity there. And that's really what our focus is let's keep our members on the road so they can go from making $200,000 a year to 240, 250 a year or more. And that's, that's a big difference in profitability and operations. So even after paying for the truck rental, they're still coming way out ahead versus not.
What other kind of hidden costs or downtime benefits do we have here at TACH? I know you talked about Ryder, Penske. Let's just say they don't need a rental, but maybe they're just on the side of the road, blown tire or something like that.
So we partnered with Cox Fleet, and so via Cox Fleet service, all of our members, their driver simply hits a button on our app, calls in. And let's say they, like you said, they blew a tire. They're on the side of the road outside of Little Rock, Arkansas, and it's 11 o'clock at night. They don't need to call the owner of the trucking company. The owner doesn't have to call the broker that hired him for that load. They just call Cox. It's done. They don't have to worry about payment. Guy's going to come out. He's going to fix the tire. Guy gets back on the road, hopefully within an hour or two. And they're able to complete that delivery and, of course, get paid. So not only that, but get paid on the load coming back.
Absolutely.
And that's where a lot of these guys are missing out, is it just becomes compounding. And then the good news is with paying that vendor, Cox pays the vendor, which they've negotiated large, corporate fleet
the repair pricing that comes out,
right? And then they just bill TACH, and then we settle up with the carrier later. So don't have to worry about it. So makes things real easy.
And I would say, as we think about sort of keeping these carriers on the road and more reliable, talk a little bit about sort of how it helps the entire ecosystem, from factors to brokers to the carrier. Like, how do we benefit all three of those when we keep these guys on the road?
I mean, the healthier financially and operationally a carrier is, it affects everyone within the whole ecosystem of logistics, right? So, the more income the carrier is making, that means the more income the driver is earning, right? Because, I mean, the more he's on the road or she's on the road, they're doing great. The broker looks great to the shipper because they have a better on-time delivery. The factoring company, their fees go up just out of sheer, because instead of them factoring $200,000, they're factoring $240,000. I mean, you name it. The repair shop, it helps them, because now instead of a truck sitting in a bay waiting for a week for the carrier,
or you got a used truck lot out back,
or the used truck lot out back. It's like they love it, because if a TACH member pulls into a shop and says, I'm a TACH member, that repair shop's going to put them right to the front of the line, because it's like, hey, I know we're going to get paid. And so it just Everyone. Obviously, the rental companies, they get to rent more trucks. They do better. Um, Cox and the service providers do better.
Yeah.
It's more efficient for them. A lot less headaches dealing with, hey, I got to get a credit card, I got to get this, I got to get that. It just streamlines the whole process. So yeah, it's a win-win-win, and it puts our because our TAC members are so much more reliable, both financially and operationally. It puts them in a position where they're going to get some of those better lanes filled, right? They're going to get the dedicated freight, the expedited freight, the high value freight, because they can be counted.
Yeah, I think that the win-win-win in the entire ecosystem is a huge differentiator for us and for really our carriers to really set themselves apart. So if someone wants to kind of learn more or become a member of TAC, where do they got to go? What do they have to do to sort of learn more about it?
Well, the first and easiest one is just go to our website, right? Go to tachusa.com and they can find out everything. We disclose everything, what we charge, what we do, what the process is, and then to get signed up, it takes about 10 minutes. If a carrier, if he knows his motor carrier number, if he knows his company EIN number, his driver's license, and his bank account information, it'll take him 10 minutes online, and he can get signed up.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Scott, I appreciate it. Thanks again for talking to me and talking to the audience here about the hidden cost of downtime.
Thank you.